the technique of the overhead press, first establish a painless grip position on the bar. Second, you're going to drive into the bar with your body so that you can rack it as close as you can to your clavicle and front delts. Third, you're going to step back and you're going to get your feet approximately shoulder width apart. Fourth, you're going to maintain a neutral head position while keeping your back tight, your glutes flexed, and your knees slightly bent. 5, for the strict press, you're going to drive the bar upward, and as soon as it passes the head, you're going to push the head through back to the neutral position. For the push press, step 5 is bend the knees and dip the hips and explode upwards, and as soon as it passes the head, push the head through. Okay, what we're going to talk about today is the push press and strict press. It is one of my favorite lifts, especially the push press. The strict press is probably my second favorite shoulder exercise. It takes a lot of raw strength to be able to press it overhead. One of the myths associated with the push press is that you have to be extremely flexible in order to get it in the racked position. The racked position is similar to a front squat, where I would have it on my shoulders and squat it. I do not have the flexibility to get my hands all the way back to do that, and I know a lot of people that don't. I really don't see the need to have that kind of flexibility for most athletes. If you're an Olympic lifter, sure, you probably definitely need that kind of flexibility. But there are ways around that for athletes to be able to still do this movement. First thing is grip. You'll see all different things across the board. If you were to talk to 10 different coaches, you might get 10 different responses. But I prefer the same grip on my push press and my strict press as I do for my bench press. It's a little wide compared to a lot of people say you need to go a little bit closer on the push press or even the strict press. I don't, because it causes significant issues in my right shoulder if I do that. So to alleviate that, I can press just fine as long as I go a little bit wider. Some people can't go wider because there's pain issues or shoulder issues or what have you. Choose a painless grip. That's the main thing. Pick a grip that will cause you the least amount of issues. These exercises and all exercises, especially in the realm of athletics, should enhance what you're trying to do in your sporting event, and it shouldn't take away from your performance on the field. So the next thing is the racked position, how to get the racked position. I always do the push press or the strict press out of a squat rack. That way, whenever I want to get it in the racked position, I can drive my chest forward and get my wrist back far enough that I can place it on my palms correctly. It's just like whenever I bench press. Whenever I bench press, I want to make sure that all of the force is over my wrist. Not past my wrist, but directly over my palm. That way I can generate as much force and create a stable platform for that bar to set on. So if I were to rack this, I get my grip. Now what I do, I have a ritual that I do every single time. I step forward hard with the right foot. I kind of throttle this a few times. It's kind of just a habit I've done for many years. I actually do the thumbless grip or suicide grip. So whenever I go to step, I'm going to step hard, arch my back, get underneath it, and then rack it. So what happens is I get back just enough so this shoulder can get in proper position, and I create that firm base whenever I rack it. That creates the strongest position that I can create with my body mechanics. I have no issues, no strains or anything else getting to that position. The only problem is I have to have a certain amount of weight on the bar to actually get it down to my chest. Anybody who has a a decent amount of muscle mass is going to have the same issue. But something that happens incorrectly, and I see this all the time on other people's videos, they'll get their grip, they'll step forward and get underneath it, and this happens. Now the bar is floating above my chest and I'm physically holding it with my shoulders instead of racking it with my body. That's something you absolutely don't want to do. It wastes energy, and then when you actually go to push it, there's going to be a disconnect, especially on the push press. Considering you're supposed to have leg drive, then push, once you go down and that bar is floating up here in space, it's going to hitch. So it floats. So when you go down, it kind of comes down, and then by the time you press, it's out of sync. It's a full body movement when you do a push press. And then with a strict press, I rack it the exact same way. I tighten up everything, and then I just drive as hard as I can from that position.